And it is a great Saturday afternoon edition here of TitleTown Throwdown. I'm Nick LeBlanc. Welcome into the program here. A lot to get to, and we only got about an hour to do so let's get right into it. The Bruins, playoff bound, are the Boston Bruins with the win over the New Jersey Devils on Monday night, a convincing 3-0 win. The Boston Bruins will be represented and accounted for in the 2021 Stanley Cup playoffs. Who will they play? That's still up in the air a little bit. When are they going to play? We're waiting for the National Hockey League to get their crap together so that way we know exactly when we plan on seeing playoff hockey. But if you're confused as to why there is no start date for the Stanley Cup playoffs, you can blame the Vancouver Canucks. Well, not necessarily their fault, but they are determined to play out their full schedule. Newsflash: Vancouver's not even in the damn playoffs. They're not going anywhere. The rest of their schedule means absolutely nothing. But yet, they are determined to play the same amount of games as every other team in the National Hockey League. I mean, I just want to share you the quote-unquote Scotiabank North Division standings. We're just going to call it the Canadian Division just to make it easier. Calgary, though they're not formally eliminated yet, as them in Ottawa, surprisingly they're not formally eliminated yet. They're 10 points behind the Montreal Canadiens for the fourth and final spot in the North Division. And yet Calgary still has to play 5 more games. Vancouver, they still have to play 8. 8. Because they had, oh God, what was it? A dozen or so more games postponed because of a severe COVID outbreak that they had. Now look, Vancouver have done everyone a favor and just forfeited the rest of their games and move on. Yeah, sure. I mean, the NHL, they already expanded the NHL regular season to May 11th. Now, the NHL regular season is not going to end until May 19th when the Flames and the Canucks play their final game of their season series and will be the final games of their respected seasons. Mind you, both teams aren't going anywhere. So if the NHL is smart, they just outright cancel those games because both games would mean absolutely nothing to those two teams. All right, because look, other than there's some games tomorrow of teams who are worthy of the playoffs. Now, if Montreal doesn't win tonight in a fashion and things they don't go their way, Ottawa and Calgary, they might have a shot because I believe both teams play each other today, or both teams play today. Ottawa does, at least. But there's a handful of games on Monday, so it makes sense. And Montreal, they're part of that expanded part of the schedule. Some teams in the North, they need it for positioning wise, which I can understand on. But when you're extending the regular season a whole week for two teams like Calgary and Vancouver who aren't going anywhere, you're extending the season an entire week. Just look, these two teams will play each other on Sunday the 16th, Monday the 18th, and Wednesday the 19th. And then the NHL regular season is finally over. That's why the Stanley Cup playoffs were supposed to begin this upcoming Tuesday. Originally, they were supposed to begin this upcoming Tuesday. But it's not. Because the NHL had the brilliant idea to extend the season to the 19th for Vancouver and Calgary. No, well, look, I get it. They want to get all the games in. The players want to get their money. Fine. You can you can do what you did last year. Give the players the money. You're just paying them not to play the remaining games. If you do that, you can start the Stanley Cup playoffs on, say, the Saturday the 15th. Saturday the 15th or whatever, or even Monday the 17th or Tuesday the 18th. Let's go, because right now, the Stanley Cup playoffs probably won't start till Sunday the 23rd or Monday the 24th. And the Stanley Cup won't be awarded until at least July. I don't know. I want to say the end of July at this rate. And then they want to quickly turn around and start an 82-game season, which they should. Don't get me wrong. They absolutely should. But really? Really? Oh, boy. It's not a good look. All right. So if the NHL's wise, if all 16 spots are clinched today, you just play the games that are going to be meaningful in terms of division rankings of who's going to play who in what round in the first round. And you just pick those teams and you just pick those games out. Teams like Vancouver, Ottawa, Calgary, just say, we're going to pay you to not play these games because it didn't matter to you. It did not matter to you, so you're not going to have to play these games. Now, teams like Toronto, Winnipeg, they might want to jostle for those spots. The Bruins have that issue. No, the Bruins are in. The Bruins just don't know who they're playing. Bruins still have 2 games to play on Monday and Tuesday, but that's fine. And those games are meaningful for the Bruins, Islanders, and the Capitals. And realistically, it's for positioning in the East. Capitals get the top seed in the East. Islanders could overtake the Bruins for the 3rd spot. The Bruins could go from 3 to 2, or who knows? Or hell, the Bruins can even go from 3 to 1. I don't see that happening, but it's possible. Because Pittsburgh, they wrap up their season today. Pittsburgh wraps up their regular season today. They're going to be ready for the playoffs. But this is where you're going to really see a lot of bad hockey in the first 3-4 days to the Stanley Cup playoffs, because you're going to have teams like Pittsburgh, New York, Washington, Vegas, Boston, Toronto, not necessarily Toronto. Really, all the American-based teams who have clinched their spots, the regular season ends today. They're going to be sitting for 2.5 weeks before they can finally get ready for their playoff series. For an NHL player, 2 to 2.5 weeks is like a vacation. That's an off-season vacation right there. So I want to see the NHL, take a real hard look at, teams like Vancouver, Calgary, and Ottawa. The bottom 3 teams of the Canadian division. Whatever, if Montreal clinches spot either today, tomorrow, Monday, whenever. If the Montreal clinches that spot, which they absolutely should be able to do, wipe out those games. Just wipe them out. They won't matter. All right, they won't matter. Why? Because they're not going anywhere. They're not going to the playoffs. They're not going to be competing for the Stanley Cup. They're not. Now, look, if Calgary and Vancouver and Ottawa say they're within 3 points of Montreal, fine. Play the games. Fine. That's fine. But if you have the opportunity to start the playoffs earlier, like a full week earlier, because Montreal's in, the games to Vancouver and Calgary will mean absolutely nothing. Wipe them clean. Just say, we're going to give you your full salary for the season to not play these games, so that way we can move on to the more important games, aka the Stanley Cup playoffs. I know the NHL's smarter than that. I really hope they do that route, because if they don't, you're wasting everyone's time. You're wasting the teams that clinched the playoffs. Look, if you had to extend the season 2 games for like 3 teams, all of them in the playoffs, fine. This would be non-discussion. But you're extending the season a full week and a half for 2 teams, realistically 1 team, just that way they can play their full schedule, who aren't even going anywhere. It makes no freaking sense at all. Zero, absolutely 0 sense. I don't get it. So anyway, who could the Bruins face in the Stanley Cup playoffs? Well, the Bruins currently sit at 3 in the East. So right now, realistically speaking, if 0 teams had any COVID-19 outbreaks, any team had 0 COVID-19 related outbreaks, season ends today, the Bruins would be matching up against the Washington Capitals in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now the Bruins, again, a game in hand on Washington, a game in hand on New York, 2 games in hand on Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh ends their season today. Pittsburgh has 75 points. Washington has 73. You have 71, and the Islanders have 68. With the win today against the Rangers, and say the Islanders lose, Islanders will theoretically be locked into that number 4 spot. You play them on Monday night at the Garden, but the Islanders essentially be locked into that number 4 spot, and say Washington loses, you're tied with Washington for the 2nd seed in the East. And say Pittsburgh loses today, Washington loses today, and you beat them on, say, Tuesday, you take these final 6 points, you go from 71 points to 77 points. Not only do you win the East Division, but the Islanders would have to come here for the first 2 games of the Stanley Cup playoffs. You will get home ice advantage through at least the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Now, pending who you will match up against, and realistically, you only match up against either the North Division or maybe the Central Division. I think the Central Division make a little bit more sense. Now, depending who comes out of the North Division, I really don't know. But if you want to keep it geographical, you do the East and the Center. You do the East on one top of on the top right corner of the bracket, and the Central on the bottom right, and you do the North on the top left, and the Pacific on the bottom left. That's how I do it. But whatever the NHL has decided to do, they got some time for the playoffs to start. But with teams like Pittsburgh, New York, Buffalo, basically, Detroit and Columbus, even though they don't matter, with a handful of teams with regular season ending between now and Tuesday, you really should get to the point in which, okay, this is when the playoffs are going to begin, and here's how we're going to do it. Maybe to save some time, and to save a little bit of time, and I don't know if the NHL would actually do this. I doubt they will. But you schedule all 8 playoff games on the same days. So, for example, say you're going to start the playoffs on Sunday the 23rd, let's say, or Monday the 24th, whatever. You schedule all 8 games on that day, and then you say you schedule half of those on Tuesday the 25th, then the 26th, and then you can go on from there, and then just more back-to-back. So you could get the first round done theoretically between Monday the 24th, and either Tuesday or Wednesday, June 2nd, theoretically. Do the same thing for round number 2. Back-to-back here, maybe a back-to-back right towards the end of the series if needed. So something like that. And then once you get to the Final Four, you can go a day, one day here, one day there, one day here, one day there. Then you can do that. At that point, it won't matter. But for the Cup final, depending who it is, can we not do the play one, off one, play one, off two, play one, off one, play one, off two, play one, off two, play one, off two, play one. Unless it's the Bruins going all the way out to Vegas, fine, then you can take the 2 days. But if it stays Boston, St. Louis again, it's only an hour difference, so you can go one on, one off, one on, one off, one on, one off, one on, one off, and so on and so forth. Anyway, though, that's the NHL rant. The Bruins, though, firmly in there. Do they have a legitimate chance? Sure, they're playing good hockey right now, but Islanders have had their number a little bit. They've gone back and forth with the Capitals. They've gone back and forth with the Penguins. So whoever they draw in round 1, it's going to be a doozy of a series. It's going to be a tough for the Bruins to get through. All right, Red Sox 20-13 through 33 games. Where the hell did that come from? Someone please tell me where the hell did we see this coming? The Red Sox are 20-13, a half a game up on the Oakland Athletics. And now mind you, the A's, they started what? 0-6? Something like that. They started 0-6 and they've won 20 of what is it? The A's started out 0-6. They're now 20-14. The A's have won 20. They've played 34 games. They start out on 6. So you take -6 from the 14. I'm not even going to do it because y'all are about to laugh at me for how absolutely poor my math skills are. Here's something, though. The Red Sox are on top of Major League Baseball. The record, the MLB goes by this, and these are just the top 3 teams. The Red Sox are 20-13 with a .606 winning percentage. Then you got the San Francisco Giants at 19-13 at .594. That half a game is because the Red Sox have 20 wins compared to the Giants 19. They have the same amount of losses. The A's are 20-14 with a .588 win percentage. They are percentage points. They have lesser percentage points than the A's, even though they have their win-loss thing is identical at 6 apiece. But the Giants have 1 less loss, and the A's have 1 more win, and etc. But anyway, though, that's how tight it is so far early on. But the fact that the Red Sox, if you want to be on a technicality, the first team to 20 wins, albeit 2 minutes before the A's walked it off against the Rays. First team to 20, best record in baseball, and we sit here on May 8th, 33 games into the season. Who saw this coming? Now look, we all know Alex Cora played a huge influence on this. I get that. We know that. But what we don't know is how are they being this successful with all the issues that they have. Franchi Cordero blows. Dahlbeck slumping. Garrett Richards apparently doesn't know the Northeast that he needs a damn jacket. He had one good start. Hey, a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. Don't let that fool you. Pavetta pitching okay. The rotation's all right. Erod's still struggling a little bit, even though Erod is somehow 4-0. Pavetta's 5-0 somehow. Anyway, though, the bullpen's starting to have some issues. Offense destroying the runs, which is a good thing. But it's not. But the record says they're a good team. They have a 7-win differential between their win and loss. But you just get the feeling that, they're playing good baseball now. But will they be playing good baseball in, say, a month from now, prior to the All-Star break, in the pennant race? Will they be playing good baseball then? Who knows? Look, you're going to get reinforcements at some point down the road, Chris Sale. He's going to come back from his Tommy John surgery. When will he come back? Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? What I do know is this. This team is playing well right now. Could they potentially make a stab at it? Yeah, they could if they maintain this type of consistency. So you got a team like the Yankees who start off slow, getting a little bit hot again, but they're a 500 team, 32 games into their year. Now look, did I think that the Red Sox would be at the top of Major League Baseball at all? No. I at least thought the Red Sox would be right where the Yankees are. A 500 ball club, playing reasonably decently to just keep yourself afloat, keep yourself relevant. Although right now for the Yankees, though, 500, fourth place early on in the year makes it look like that they're a dumpster fire right now. About a couple weeks ago, they looked like a dumpster fire. That's besides the point. The fact that this Red Sox team right now, looks like a legitimate contender possibly for a world championship. Look, anything's possible. Anything can happen in a baseball season. Anything can happen. All right? 2019, the Washington Nationals, they were 19-31, 40 games into the season. They were 50 games into the year. Dead last in the National League East, and I believe second to last in the National League. How did that turn out for them? They only ended up winning the World Series in 7 games. Never won I think maybe 3 home playoff games the entire run before. All I know is that they didn't win a damn at home in their 3 games against the Astros in the World Series, but they beat the Astros in all 4 games in Houston. That's about all I know. That's about all of us knows. Yep, Red Sox, they blew a game in 2018, the very first game of the year, and we thought it was like, oh, here we go. A bad season. Well, 119 wins later, they're hoisting World Series trophy. Astros, we know them. 3 100-plus lost seasons to 3 100-plus wins. A World Series title came out of it, although we found out that they were cheating. But, look, it's not how you start sometimes. It's how you finish. A team could be in the basement of baseball in, end of May and come out the other end as World Series champions. Am I saying that the Tigers, who are 9-22 or 10 and whatever, am I saying that they're going to go on a 20-game win streak, get back into the race and win the World Series? No, because the Tigers, they don't have the talent. They just don't have the talent. So A team like Detroit, no. Baltimore? Possibly. Pittsburgh? Eh. The Cubs? Absolutely. The Braves? Sure. The Yankees? Absolutely. Do not rule out the New York Yankees. You never rule out the Yankees. Rays? Possibly. Dodgers off to a hot start, but fluttering a little bit. They can still get it together. It's so early for them. Anything can happen at any given moment in any type of sport, especially in baseball, where you have 4 no-hitters already in one season and 2 of them in the same week. And that brings us to the TitleTown Play of the Week. And this is from last night. Reds pitcher Wade Miley threw the 4th no-hitter in baseball this season alone, and the 2nd in 3 days. Because Orioles started, or 4 days, pitcher John Means, he threw on Wednesday against the Mariners. Now, before I get to Wade Miley's final out in the Reds' celebration of the no-no, a couple things kind of struck a chord here. Now, technically, if you want to say 5 no-hitters because Mad Bum's no-hitter, sure. Now, look, a lot of people say, oh, no, you had to pitch the 9 innings, and I get that, but it was the designed 7-inning game. Whose fault is that? It's not Bumgarner's. It's not the Braves' fault. It's yours, baseball, because you designed it that way. You designed it this way. Should Mad Bum's no-hitter count? Yeah, I think it really should. And now people are saying, oh, John Means lost his perfect game on a dropped 3rd strike and the runner reached. Should it count as a perfect game? No. It was an error committed by the catcher, and for a perfect game to happen, no one can reach first base. No one can reach first. So Means was a simple no-hitter. Sorry. Lucas Giolito, he hit a batter, but a hit batter is equivalent to a walk. So, no perfect game for you. But anyway, here is the Wade Miley no-hitter, and this comes via Major League Baseball. This comes via Major League Baseball's YouTube page. And here is that no-hitter right now. So the following here is the final out made by Wade Miley in his no-no.
Ground ball. Farmer. Wizardry from Wade Miley. A no-hitter in baseball history.
Now notice on how the Reds announcer said MLB history. It is baseball history. Why is it baseball history? Because, and this has never happened in the 152-year history of Major League Baseball. I don't know how the hell it hasn't happened up to this point. 4 no-hitters in Major League Baseball. And we're only at for most teams, the 30-day mark. We're already 30 games in. At least all teams in baseball have at least played 30 games. Or at least 25 of them, at the very least. But 4 no-hitters already this early in baseball, yeah, never happened. You're lucky if you have 4 no-hitters over the span of 6 months. I beat 1. But, this is me looking things up because I had things ready. I had things jotted down in my memory bank. And naturally for me, I lost it. So pitchers who have thrown, there have been 4 different no-hitters. I mentioned John Means earlier. We just saw Wade Miley throw the 4th one as part of the TitleTown play of the week. So Wade Miley, baseball's second no-hitter in 3 days, 4th already this season. So San Diego's Joe Musgrove, he threw the first one. He started the 2021 no-hitter club with the Padres on April 9th when he no-hit the Texas Rangers. 5 days later, Carlos Rendon of the Chicago White Sox no-hit the Cleveland Indians. Just one batter shy of a perfect game when he hit a batter in the 9th. Arizona's Madison Bumgarner pitched a 7-8 no-hitter against Atlanta on the 25th, but that one isn't recognized as an official no-hitter because it didn't go 9 innings. Again, a designed 7-inning game. Designed. If you want it to count, go back to 9-inning doubleheaders. It's as simple as that. I know nobody wants to see that, but that's how you got to do it. So, on technicality, there are 5 no-hitters in baseball already this season. 4 of them are counted. Yes, I'm very strong about this, and no one can change my mind about it. So, me. So, and look, I understand didn't go 9 innings, but it was a designed 7-inning game. It's a designed 7-inning game. What do you want? Both teams to go scoreless through the first 7 innings? Through the first 7 innings and the Giants rip off 9 runs? Then it would have counted. On no, Major League Baseball. So I'm like, oh, no. Technically, the 8th and 9th inning were extra innings, so it still doesn't count. Again, designed 7-inning game. Should count. So this is the earliest in the calendar year in which there have been 4 no-hitters since 1917, when the 4th was thrown on May 4th and the 5th on May 6th, and the second season overall in MLB history. All right, so second one of the 152-year history, whatever. Which there have been 4 no-hitters before the end of May. 4 no-hitters. Imagine that. Technically 5, but they're not going to count it. But 4 no-hitters before we even get to May 31st. And what's even more sad is that the Indians, they've been no-hit twice in a span of 3 weeks. They've been no-hit twice in the span of 3 weeks, and yet, is it sad that a team's been no-hit twice already this season? Yeah. What's even sadder is that the Indians are only a half game out of second place, a first place in their division. The White Sox lead that division at 17-13. Every team in baseball has played almost 30 games. The Mets, they've had a bunch of postponements due to rain. And, well, COVID issues were not from their own doing. But still, it's astonishing that we're at that point. It is just absolutely astonishing that it's like that. So, again, congrats to Wade Miley, the 4th no-hitter. I believe that is the first no-hitter of his MLB career. Look, it's hard to no-hit a team nowadays. But for a team to be no-hit twice in a season, 3 weeks, no, just about a couple weeks apart, it says a lot about you as a ball club that, you can win games. But if you lose games, you're either going to lose them ugly or you're not even going to be able to record a hit. So that kind of ends that. All right, so want to switch gears to NFL. I'm sorry there's been no breaks here. Just we're still going through the rebranding phase. And we have outdated ads or outdated promos, I should say. So there's that. All right. So want to get to the Patriots actually here to start off. So who should be the starter come week 1? Cam Newton, Mac Jones, or Jarrett Stidham? Look, Bill Belichick has obviously said that, Cam Newton's going to be the starting quarterback come week 1. Could Mac Jones or Jarrett Stidham change his mind? Yes, absolutely. They absolutely can. But Stidham's entering year 3 and he hasn't shown much. Has he gotten many opportunities to really get into an NFL game? No, but has that he really shown enough to earn a starting job and say practice? There's another thing. Now, Mac Jones just got drafted a week ago. Could he shock Josh McDaniels, Bill Belichick, and really put his nose to the grindstone and win this starting job? Yeah. This is Cam Newton. This job is Mac Jones' job to win, and it's Cam Newton's and Jarrett Stidham's job to lose. Now look, you're not paying much for Newton. You're barely paying anything for Stidham. Mac Jones is going to get a huge contract. He's going to get the basic 4-year entry-level deal of a first-round pick. The dude's going to be making more money than both Jarrett Stidham and Cam Newton combined. Now listen, do I believe that Cam Newton should get the nod come week 1 of the NFL regular season? Yes. Because you don't want to throw Mac Jones right into the fire. You want him to learn and develop the NFL game, and the best way to do that is to learn behind a veteran quarterback like Cam Newton, who has been a starter in this league since the moment he stepped onto the football field, because Cam Newton was the number 1 overall pick back in 2011. So he knows what it's like to play in the NFL. One thing that Newton doesn't know that Matt didn't get the benefit of, I should say, that Mac Jones is going to get the benefit of, is learning under a veteran quarterback for a year. Patrick Mahomes is lucky to do it, and Mahomes became the starter of the year later, and Mahomes took that by the horns and ran with it. Lamar Jackson, for a little bit of time, he was able to learn under Joe Flacco. Then Flacco got hurt, and Jackson took the job. Brady was gracious. Brady, although he wasn't a first-round pick, learned under Bledsoe, took over for Bledsoe. Aaron Rodgers sat 3 years behind Brett Favre until he got the starting job. Jordan Love, he's learning under Aaron Rodgers right now. How much longer that will be, that's to be determined, and we'll discuss that a little bit later. Who else is a good example? All the good quarterbacks in the NFL either started right out of the gate or they had to take a couple years to learn and develop. Russell Wilson, the plan was for him to learn and develop under Tavares Jackson. Wilson stole the starting job from Jackson's legs, and Wilson led the Seahawks to Super Bowl a couple years later. Go figure. So it doesn't matter where you're drafted, essentially. It depends on how fast you can grasp everything. Do I think Mac Jones absolutely grasps everything quick? Yeah. Will he start right away? Probably not. Because knowing Belichick, and I know a lot of Patriot fans will disagree with it, but this is the best way to develop a guy by not throwing him right away. Now, chances are, and this probably absolutely, Cam Newton can suck. Mac Jones proves that he can win the game, win and learn in, say, everything. And he takes the starting job. From Cam Newton. He should, as I said last week, You should be able to beat out Jarrett Stidham for the backup role. You should be able to beat Cam Newton for the starting job. Will you get the starting job? Probably not, because Bill Belichick, as a grizzled veteran coach that he is, will go with the most experienced man in the room, and the most experienced man in the room is Cam Newton at this time. And look, people make the narrative that, oh my God, Bill Belichick finally drafted a quarterback in round number 1. Oh my God, he's never done that in his tenure. Because from the moment he got here in 2000, all the way through 2019, he had Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady. He didn't need to. And people, again, make the narrative, oh, the Patriots drafted a quarterback for the first time in 28 years. Well, yeah, when the last quarterback you drafted round number 1 was Drew Bledsoe, the first overall pick in 1993, and you had a consistently good quarterback from 1993 to 2019, you don't need a quarterback in round 1. I bet they probably should have done something in 2020, but, Patriots thought that Brady was trying to come back 2020, so they felt they didn't need to. And then you bring in Stidham, and then all I had was Stidham. You bring in Hoyer, then you bring in Newton, and all three of them, and between the three of them combined, blow, it sucked. No. Badish, inept. Cam Newton in bad, Justin in badish, Brian Hoyer in complete and utter ineptitude. That's how the Patriots quarterback was. And Cam Newton won all 7 games for the Patriots last year. Let's remind everyone of that. He won all 7 games last year. Realistically, last year's the start, Cam Newton went 7-8. Between Hoyer and Stidham, they combined 0-1. That was the Patriots quarterback situation last year. Now look, can Cam Newton improve? Yes, he absolutely can improve. But he absolutely can improve. But with Cam Newton, he can do it. Hang on. So with Cam Newton, he absolutely can do it. With Cam Newton, he can do it. Okay? With Cam Newton, he can absolutely do it. Because with this, it all comes down to veteran experience. It all comes down to that. So if the Patriots are able to get Cam Newton in line and Newton's able to be successful and succeed, the Patriots will be successful and succeed. So here's this thing. And this is where I'm actually going to wrap up for the moment. This is where I'm going to wrap up for the day. I want to get into some NFL storylines, and we're just not going to be able to do it. I'll make them quick though. We will do it. So here's what I'm going to do. If I'm Bill Belichick, and this is what really transpired last year, everyone was calling for Jarrett Stidham to start. Jarrett needs to start. Cam stinks. Why didn't Jarrett Stidham start a game? Because Bill Belichick had zero faith in Jarrett Stidham. Zero faith. Because Stidham either did not look good in training camp, and he wasn't showing anything throughout the season. That's why Bill stuck it out with Cam Newton. Now, Bill's going to start out with Cam because the veteran quarterback. And you have to understand that. But if Mac Jones is showing either gradual or drastic improvement through training camp and through practices throughout the year, and if Cam's just absolutely blowing your mind with either his ineptitude or he's just flat out sucks, then Bill Belichick will not hesitate to go to Mac Jones, because Mac Jones is showing him something that Jarrett Stidham didn't show him last year, and that he can get it right out of the gate. That's where I'm going to leave the Patriots, saying this quarterback debate is going to be absolutely fun. I'm going to try to get some people on next week to see if they want to talk Patriot quarterback carousel. All right, so just quick NFL storylines here. Rodgers, is he staying? Is he going? Who the hell knows? Reportedly, Adam Schefter on the Pat McAfee show said that he made it up. Whether that's true, he said he had no sources, but, you know, Rodgers come out and say, yeah, there's some, organization I are disagreeing a few things, but I'm going to be there. Look, as a Patrick fan myself and Aaron Rodgers fan, I'm going to believe until either he says something or he shows up to either mandatory minicamp or training camp. One of the two. All right, Tom Brady calls for unity for the NFL players because a lot of players don't want to attend the offseason workouts. They can do it all virtually. Look, whatever gets you guys ready for the season, I really don't care. It's a dumb thing anyway. All right? Like, they're optional team workouts for a reason. It's called optional team activities. You don't have to show up if you don't want to. The only things that are mandatory in the offseason for the players is mandatory minicamp, and that's 2 days. Other than that, you don't have to go to the OTAs. You don't have to. No one's going to make you go to OTAs. No one's going to make you. All right, so can we get that narrative out already, please? All right, and Julio Jones, trade rumors, people saying do not trade Julio Jones, trade Julio Jones. Look, let's let the Falcons do what they want, all right? All right, wraps up this edition of TitleTown Throwdown. Thank you all for tuning in on a Saturday. I'm Nick LeBlanc. We'll talk to you next Saturday. Remember, go Bees, go Pats, go C's, go Sox. And we'll talk to you all next week. Have a good rest of your weekend.